everybody, thanks for coming to class. Had such a great time taking a deep dive into the lymphatic system with you. Here is the lymphatic flow routine that we did together in class. Okay, so always, we start with the lucky 7. This is how I learned it and this is how I like to teach it. Any movement that you do afterwards is absolutely fine. So you can either follow along with what I do or do your own movement just to get the lymphatic system moving, because as we learned, the lymphatic system does not have a pump, and it depends on that diaphragmatic breathing and movement and sweat to detoxify our body. Okay, so starting with the lucky 7. The first point is the termini, the end points. To find it, you're going to be above the collarbone. If you shrug your collarbones up, you'll find a little triangle area here, and you just want to take your 2 fingers, the pads of the fingers, and lightly pump about 10 to 15 times, remembering to breathe. Next, we go to the tonsillar nodes. To locate them, they're at if you find the angle of your jaw and then drop down and back a little bit onto the sternocleidomastoid, this big muscle in the neck, you want to very lightly pump downwards, or you can make gentle circles. Or you could do it as Sally taught with the Vulcan, and behind and in front of the ears. So remember, this is meant to be very intuitive. As long as you know where these major lymph nodes are, just use your intuition and how they want to be massaged or tapped or rubbed or whatever feels good for you. And you're always using a light pressure because you're working on the superficial lymph nodes. Number 3 is the apical node. So to locate the apical node, it's about at the bra line in most women, or middle of the collarbone. You're going to drop down under the collarbone. If you shrug your shoulders up like this, you'll find a little indentation that your fingers will just naturally slip into. That's the that is the node we're looking for. And here you just want to gently rub or pump towards the midline. And then we go to the axillary nodes, so the armpit. I like to do one arm at a time, but you could also do both if that works for you. So we'll start with the left side, and if you squeeze your pec here, your pectoralis muscle, it's like a little chicken wing. You want to not dig your fingers, you want to press your fingers underneath there, and that's about where the lymph node area is. And here you just want to pump it. So you're kind of pumping it up and towards the midline. Nice and gentle, taking deep diaphragmatic breaths. And with all of these, you're doing it about 10 to 50 pumps, and it really depends on what you got going on and how much time you have to commit to this routine. And then we'll switch sides. So again, locating or pinching this muscle here, and then bringing the pads of the fingertips underneath, and then gently pump up and towards the midline. And one thing to remember that we may have not talked about in class is when you do this, you want to fill in here and notice if you have a pit, an armpit, or a puff. And the same is true of this area above your collarbones. You don't want to have a puff. Puff means inflammation and stagnation. So if you do have that, that just means that this area needs a little bit more attention. Next, we go to the Cysterna Cyli. So to locate the Cysterna Cyli, you want to, I like to make the shaka like this. Stick the pinky in the belly button and then allow the thumb to come to where the rib cage meets, and then right in the middle, that's about where the Cysterna Cyli sits. Now remember, the Cysterna Cyli is a deep lymph node. So it sits way back almost towards the spine. So here we want to pump it. So we're pumping it in and up, encouraging the lymphatic fluid from the thoracic duct to go up so that it could drain into the left termini. And breathe. So this is the area that's tender in most people. It's tender on me right now. And that's just an indication, a message from the body that there might be some stagnation and you want to spend some extra time here. Breathing. Okay, the next one is the inguinal nodes, or the groin. So to find it, you locate the top of your hip bone, the iliac crest right here, superior iliac crest. Just allow your hands to rest over that, and then where your middle and ring finger land, that's about the starting point of these lymph nodes. And here you're going to press in and pull up. So same pumping action, very light, and you're going to take it all the way down to the pubic bone. And do maybe 5 or 10 passes here. And the last point is the knees. So behind the knees, you can either take your leg up like this and bring the thumbs underneath the knees. Again, you can feel here, is there a pit or a puff if it's swollen? And then you can massage this way, or you can take the fingers and do this, or you can do both knees at a time. And same thing here. We're just very gently pumping the fluid up towards the inguinal ligaments. And let's do the other side. I like to use my fingers like this and just pump, 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 pump. Wonderful. Okay. That's basic. Okay, now we do a Qigong spinal twist. So you're just going to very gently start to twist right and left, allowing the arms to tap over the abdomen and the back. So here you're stimulating your spleen on the left side, your liver on the right side, and your kidneys on the back. And this just feels really good to get the blood flow going, the lymphatic system moving, open up the spine. And taking nice deep breaths. And then coming back to center. Take a breath, notice how your body feels. And now we're going to start tapping. So with the tapping, it's a little bit more vigorous because we just opened up all the superficial lymph, right, with those lymph nodes. And now we want to invigorate the body a little bit, get the circulation going, and activate some of the deeper lymphatics in the body. So we're going to start with the core. I like to use a soft knuckle. You can also use your fingers or a slap. And just getting into those inguinal ligaments, lymph nodes. And then come up to the liver on the right. Breathing deeply. And then coming across, Cysterna Cyli. Over to the left, the spleen and the stomach. And then just follow the path of digestion. So we go up on the right, across, down on the left. Here we're stimulating the the colon for proper peristalsis, and the small intestines. And then take it around the body, coming to the kidneys. Just very lightly tapping on the kidneys, breathing into the back side of the body. And then down the sacrum, on the glutes. And then we're gonna go down the back of the legs, spending a little bit of time behind the knees, down the calves, around the toes, and up the inside of the legs. Back to the groin area, and then bring it all the way up midline into the chest, the lungs. One thing that I like to do is I like to take a deep in-breath here, and then I hold the breath as I tap the lungs, and then I let it go. Then you extend either arm. We're doing the left, extending the arm, tapping down the inside, following the meridian lines. Spend a little bit of extra time on the elbow. Remember the creases of the body, the joints, are really important for lymph flow, and they often get stagnated and stuck here. And then down the arm, into the hand, the palm, flip the arm over, and we're going to tap up the arm. Here we're tracing the yang meridians of the body, into the elbow, into the trap, and switch sides. Down the inside. Flip the arm, bring it up, spend some extra time around the elbow, up to the traps, and then with your fingertips, you're just going to kind of very lightly raindrop all over the face, the neck, and then coming into the head, the skull, to really help with that lymphatic, the brain drainage. Can even tap the ears, behind the neck. And then settle down. Notice how your body feels. You might have that rebounding, tingling effect going on. The lymphatic system moving, the circulatory system moving. And now we're going to shake. So you're just going to gently start to bounce. And you can shake and vibrate the body as fast or as slow as feels comfortable for you. And every so often, bring the heels off the floor to pump the calves, because the calves will help bring blood from the lower body back up to the heart. So just shake it out. About 30 seconds, a minute, 3 minutes if you're feeling ambitious and feeling good. Breathing. And then come to center. Do a body check-in. And we're going to do one round of fire breathing. The lymph does not have its own pump, so it depends on movement and breath to get it circulating and detoxing properly. When we do this type of breath, we're actually pumping the diaphragm, and that in turn is helping to pump out the organs, right? And also bring more blood flow and increase the lymphatic circulation. So I like to use my hands like this, and you're just going to exhale sharply through the nose. The inhale happens on its own. It looks like this. And then you're going to hold the breath out. Allow it to circulate as long as you can hold it. And then inhale up, sweeping the arms up. And then exhale, visualize that beautiful waterfall of light, washing, cleansing, clearing your body, calming your nervous system. And you could do that as many times as you'd like, but at least once. And then last, we're going to do the chi massage. So inhale, deep breath in, hands connect at the top like this. Fold the elbows. The hands separate at the neck. And then you're going to brush down the neck. Just a light feather touch. Coming down the sternum, under the breasts, around to the kidneys, massaging the kidneys, down to the sacrum, up and around the hips. And let's trace down the legs, around the toes, up the inside of the legs, all the way up to the heart. Brush down the inside of the arm, up the outside. And then coming back to the heart. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And just take a few moments to send some gratitude to your lymphatic system. Visualizing beautiful silvery strands of clean, fresh lymphatic fluid pumping through your body. Cleansing and clearing every cell. Filling you with radiance and vitality. Thank you.